Okay, so one of the best things about summer is cutting zucchini flowers and frying them. So I have my basket, my scissor, and I have some more beautiful zucchini flowers here. I'm going to give it a snip and place it in my basket. You can see there's some critters living in there. So in a minute, I'm going to show you a good way to clear them all out and make sure that your flower is free of living things. Even though we love them, we don't want to eat them. And I always make sure that I cut only the male flower. You'll notice these are all males because there's no fruit behind it. It's just a stem. So these are safe to be cut. Here's another beautiful flower under here. No fruit behind it. And this one has lots of critters, so we're certainly going to talk about how to get those little guys out of there. For now, I'm just going to place them in my basket. And I see a few more. I'm going to pick one more. Here's another beautiful flower right in here. Again, there's no fruit behind it, so it's good to be picked. Look at the size of that flower. This is going to be a delicious fried zucchini flower.
Look at all the bees.
We're going to get those little ants out. Don't worry about that. It's going to be completely clean before we cook it. Okay, so here's an example of a zucchini flower. Even though it's still in bud form, it hasn't opened, and it does have the zucchini growing behind it. So this is a flower you don't want to cut for frying, or else the zucchini will cease growing and you won't have a nice zucchini. So we're only taking the flowers that do not have the fruit at the back. Okay? Okay, so now I put the flower in front of the fan to encourage the petals to open up, and that way I can easily look inside to see if I can need to remove any critters that might have wandered in there. And I use the tip end of a pointy paring knife. It looks very clean. There's no little critters. Look at the outside. And this one is ready for stuffing and frying. Once again, I just want to demonstrate the cleaning because this is a very important step. So you see we have a little friendly ant in there. And once again, the fan helps me open the flower up, and I gently pick up this little guy, and I'm going to give him a new home. I always want to show respect to my little critters, because without these guys, we wouldn't have this vegetation and these flowers and this fruit. So we're going to give this little ant a new home. We just don't want him in our flower. Okay, so now we're going to actually start the cooking phase. So what I like to do is I like to fry in coconut oil. You can use any brand. I just like, it gives everything an added coconutty flavor. Or if you don't like the coconut flavor, you can get unsulfured coconut oil, and you still get the health benefits of coconut oil without the coconut flavor. All right, so that's going in there. I'm going to start warming up the oil. Now what I'm doing is I'm heating up water in this kettle, because you're going to pour some flour in a bowl, and you could use any brand of flour. This happens to be gluten-free. It doesn't have to be. It could be anything you want. That's about enough right there. And I like to mix lukewarm water because it helps get the, yep, this is just about lukewarm. It helps get the lumps out. So I just wanted to test it with my finger, make sure it's lukewarm. And I'm just going to pour it in here and just get this batter just a little bit liquidy. Not too pasty and not too liquidy. All right, just a little bit, about that much. I think that should be good. No, needs a little more liquid. Yep. Going to be adding a whipped egg white in just a minute. So I need to add a little more water. It's still a little too pasty. There you go. Give that a little stirring. Try to get some lumps out. Whip it around. Okay. So this is just about the right consistency. Alrighty. It's a little lumpy, but don't even worry about that because we're going to be folding in an egg white. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to just crack an egg and separate the white from the yolk. Running it through your fingers is the best way to cleanly separate the white from the yolk. I'll save that yolk later for maybe later if I scramble some eggs. All right, And I'm only going to use one side of my beater. Truth of the matter is the other one broke. But I really don't need to for my purposes of beating an egg white. So I'm just going to beat this egg white. It'll take a second. You can see it's turning white. Beat the egg white. Bad egg white here. And then, once it has stiff peaks, it's ready. Okay? It's almost ready. See how fast that was? A little noisy. There you go. And you lift it up and you'll see it has stiff peak. So it's ready to be mixed. Okay? Folded, I should say. So now, I'm just going to fold that. Let me get this wire out of the way. We're going to fold that right into our batter. Okay, we just pour it right in like that. See how it stays together? And we're just going to fold it right in. Just fold it in. You don't want to whip it in because then that deflates all those nice air bubbles in the whipped egg that we just whipped it for. So now we're going to just fold it in. And now our batter is full of airy bubbles. It's going to be delicious. Okay, so the batter is ready to go. I've got some cheese here for stuffing. You can use any kind of cheese, mozzarella, a hard ricotta. This actually happens to be a frying cheese that I just found in the supermarket. I thought I'd give it a try. And the flowers are here on my white tray, which even though we cleaned them so thoroughly, I like to lay them on a white tray just to make sure I didn't miss any little critters that were living in there. So I'm going to start with a nice open flower. And by the way, you can see these four are a lighter color. It's a different variety of zucchini. These darker orange flowers were from the green squash. And these, I believe, were from the butternut squash. So I'm going to take my flower, put some cheese right there in the center, kind of close up the petals delicately, lay it carefully right in my batter, and roll it around gently, roll it around. And now I'm going to place it right in the hot oil. And the oil has been getting hot. It's not too hot. You do want it to sizzle when you place it in. There you go, nice sizzle. And then I'll just start with the next flower. Give it another quick once over, nice and clean. Piece of cheese in it. Last week I made these and I stuffed it with some leftover rice that I had in my fridge from the night before. And that was delicious. It was a little bowl of risotto that I stuffed it with. And we're just going to place this right in the hot oil, coat the flour, and place it right in the hot oil. And that's that. And you just keep doing this, turning them once. Wait till they're golden brown, and then turn them once. That's it. So delicious. Okay, so these are ready to be flipped, because they're golden brown on the underside. Give them a quick flip. And in another minute, they'll be coming out of the oil. All right, so they're nice and golden brown. We're just going to take them out of the oil, lay them on a serving dish. They look amazing, and they'll taste even better. And now we put a little bit of salt over it while it's still hot. And garnish with a few cherry tomatoes from the garden. And we are ready to eat. So now we're ready to enjoy our fried zucchini flowers. We have 4 flowers on this dish, garnished with some cherry tomatoes from the garden. And we're ready for a taste test, Cleo, but this isn't for you. That is really, really good. You'll get a bone, Cleo. This is for me, okay? Delicious.